guys, it's me, Halloween Dan, doing a video today about something I've been promising to talk about for weeks now, and that I still can't believe I am this late to the party in terms of talking about these things, because today I want to really focus on and have a look at the absolutely awesome props coming out to Party City this year. I know some of these props have already been out, they've already been available, people have already bought them. I am very late to this party, in a way, Party City's party. But I just wanted to weigh in on these things. I wanted to talk about these animatronics because they do look so cool. I did a video about a month ago where I talked about the still images that we had of these things, and they looked really awesome then. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to go through some of the only footage we have of these things in motion and just add a little review to them, I suppose, more than anything. Before we get into this, I'd just like to ask a little favour of you guys. If you haven't subscribed and you watch my videos, please consider subscribing, like this video and comment and all the above. I don't know what's happened recently, but I know I shouldn't really care about how many subscribers I get and stuff, but I seem to have lost a few and not really, it seems to have very much stagnated. And as a little personal target for myself, I'd love to reach 600 before Halloween. I don't think that's too much to ask. You know, there's still 2.5 months till Halloween. So if you haven't subscribed, or, you know, or you think you know someone who would like my stuff, share it to them. And yeah, I'd just like to get a few more subscribers before Halloween. Is that too much to ask? So please, guys, sorry to sound desperate, but if you wouldn't mind, just hit that subscribe button. Anyway, guys, now into the video. So, I said it earlier on this year, Party City kind of came a bit out of left field for me. Last year, I don't think I even barely spoke about them. And then this year, amongst all the other things from Spirit and Lowe's and Home Depot, this stuff came out and looked amazing. Now, I don't know whether that's just because Home Depot, Spirit and stuff have had not as good a year. I know that Home Depot and Spirit have had what some people would call really good classic years, and there are definitely some true winners out there. Lethal Lily's one of them. But I think in general, particularly Home Depot, I would say, have not maybe hit the target quite as hard as they have done in past years. And Spirit for me was a bit clown heavy, and you know me and clowns. Lowe's has had a good year. I do like a lot of what Lowe's have brought out, particularly that big 12-foot scarecrow guy. Absolutely amazing. But then we saw what Party City were bringing out, and it kind of went, because there was just so many cool elements to what they were bringing out, and the things they said these props were supposed to do looked really good, because not only were these some classic props like scarecrows and stuff, but they did things that we hadn't seen before, or at least not very often before. So let's have a quick run through of these things and see what we think of them. So we start in this particular video with not an animatronic. This was one of the things we didn't have any footage of to begin with, and this is Rattles, the 5-foot static skeleton prop. This skeleton is epic. It is non-moving, it is completely static, but it looks so cool. It's a groundbreaker, it's clearly breaking out of the ground. The way its arm is posed, like half of it's still half concealed. It looks really good. I saw someone on Facebook who'd bought one of these and they mounted it on their garage roof, so it looked like it was breaking through the roof. This thing has multiple things you could do with it. It might be a bit of a hefty price tag, and it is a static prop, but it looks really, really cool, and I really like it. Then we have the Angel of Death. Now, this guy I was very excited for. I quite liked him. Not everyone was overly fussed about him, to be quite honest with you. They thought, we've seen this before. But this is a jump scare. And the action on this is really rapid and fast. It really leaps forward very, very quickly. It makes a screaming noise. It's got these sort of blue eyes. It's very, very dark black, almost like a cemetery kind of angel you'd see in a cemetery, but it's clearly an angel of death. It's an interesting prop as well because the things it's got like this hook in its hand and like a bunch of flowers. So it doesn't look necessarily like a Reaper, it's Reaper-esque, so I like it for that reason, but it's not necessarily a Reaper, and I think it's only like $200. So for something that jumps forward like this, I thought it was pretty cool, to be honest. Then we have the Neon Ice Cream Clown. Now, I'm not going to talk about him too much. We've already spoken about him. I did a video, basically, about him. You know me and clowns, not that fussed. But I have to say, the movement of this guy is pretty creepy. I like him. He's the colours on him are very vibrant, very cool. I think of all the clown props that have been available this year, this one's probably one of the better ones. But there's not much more that I can say about him without starting to say how much I dislike clowns.
You heard it here first, folks. Free sweet treats to all the little boys and girls this Halloween night. I have ice cream flavors to die for.
Then we had the Mad Monster Marlin. Now, this was a prop that I really liked. I've often said how much I like classic monster props, and this is clearly a Frankenstein's monster prop. It's so cool, the way it looks. Just the detail on this. I like the jacket it's wearing, the classic green colour of the skin, the hands, the face, the scars all over the place. The hair I'm not sure of. Maybe I'd have preferred a slightly more buzz cut look to this guy. I'm not sure. But overall, he's cool. He's got chains around his wrist like he's just escaped from a mad scientist laboratory. And he's just roaring. He's just making monster noises. And he's got these glowing yellow eyes. I think overall, a really cool prop. $280 maybe is asking a bit much for him. But I appreciate him because I like a monster prop. Then we have the 12-foot pumpkin creeper, and this guy is epic. I really like this guy. I like pumpkin creep props in general. I think there's a lot of good ones out there, but add that it's 12 foot. I love a 12-foot prop. Add that this 12-foot prop actually has some motion, because not a lot of 12-foot props do. This is actually moving its arms and moving its head. But then as well, the actual details of this thing are epic. It's got these viney looking hands and chest. It almost looks like a bit swampy. The clothing it wears like a swampy look. The pumpkin head itself is a really gnarled, massive, creepy looking pumpkin head with this flicker flame effect inside. And the sound effects too are kind of creepy, kind of like almost insecty. I can't describe it. It's like a creepy sort of swamp noise, it's howling noises. It's all going on with this prop, and I think it's really, really cool. I just like that pumpkin, to be quite honest with you. The pumpkin alone is enough to sell it for me. $500 is maybe pushing it a little bit, but I think it's really cool. I'd definitely consider it if it was in the UK. Then we have the little ghost trick-or-treater. Now this is a cool prop, I have to say. It's only a very small prop, and in the video they've got him next to the 12-foot pumpkin creep, so you can really see how small it is. It's got some great detail. I love these sort of creepy yellow eyes and the creepy hands holding the trick-or-treat basket. And the motion is very basic. It's just moving backwards and forwards. It's got like the music from Halloween in the background. It's not really doing an awful lot. It's very, very creepy. I like the blood sort of dripping down from the eyes look. It sort of says to you there's actually a monster under this ghost sheet. But I'm not going to lie, I thought this was going to do more. I almost thought it was going to jump or something. I imagined it as a jump scare. Now, as a creepy little prop, it's very, very cool. And it is only $100, so maybe not so bad. But I don't know. I just kind of was expecting more from it. I don't know.
Porch.
Then we have the one that a lot of people were very excited about, which is the 12-foot Wendigo. Now, this is the only true Wendigo. We thought originally that swamp creature guy from Home Depot was a Wendigo. Clearly not. But this is a true Wendigo. This looks how I imagine a Wendigo to look. It's got the deer skull with the antlers. It's kind of creepy and tall. Looks like it's been left in the woods. It's got ivies hanging down from it. The clothing is quite basic, but I think that kind of goes with the theming of it. The fact it's 12 foot, again, I really like the 12 foot. And its action is very basic. It just moves its head in a really creepy kind of way, like it's checking you out. And it's sort of judging you for, you know, sneaking you off into the woods to devour you or something. It really does look creepy. It looks exactly how a Wendigo prop should look, in my opinion. Again, it's on the more expensive end of the scale. I don't know whether I'd have wanted it to do a little bit more for the price they've put on it. And then there is also the question of, did it need to be 12 foot? Would a 9 foot prop not have done with this particular prop? Did it need to be as massive as it is? But I like it. I like the 12 foot element, and I like the overall look. It's very creepy, very spooky. Then we have the werewolf, which I'm not going to say a lot about because they didn't really show it working in the video. We've already spoken about it. All I know is that they haven't done what it showed in the video. The original stills, it had blue eyes, and apparently it hasn't got blue eyes. It's got yellow eyes, I think they say in the video. And it's very, I don't know. I like werewolf props. I like the fact that it's got very dark fur and it's very massive, very hulking. But it is $500. That's a lot of money for a werewolf. And apart from some really cool aesthetics, I like the big sharp teeth and I like the overall look of the werewolf itself. I don't like the clothing. They made a big deal in the video about how it's not wearing plaid. And I don't know why it's not, to be honest with you. I think that when I think werewolf, I just think that. I think like a plaid shirt. So I don't know why it's wearing this weird green outfit. It doesn't seem to say werewolf to me, because the whole point of a werewolf is that it's a person who's turned into a wolf, not some, I mean, who walks around wearing green swamp outfit? I don't know what that is. That doesn't say werewolf to me. That just says creepy monster to me. So I don't know whether they missed a trick there with the clothing. It's not a big deal, but this is not one for me. I like him, but I wouldn't buy him. Then we have what potentially, I think actually could be one of the coolest props. One of them from Party City. And that is the drop-down scarecrow. I think they've got him out at $220, and for this prop, I would definitely pay $220. I like scarecrow props. I think there's a myriad of different ones, all at different sort of levels of quality, and I like each one in their own right. But this one is cool. Not only is it a creepy scarecrow, it's a pretty creepy, spooky looking scarecrow. And it's up quite high to begin with. It's up like 9 feet in the air. But then it has this cool drop action. And the drop action is very quick. No sooner has it been triggered than the thing is literally falling towards you. You definitely would have to sort of mark off a barrier so that it didn't literally fall into people. I could imagine that happening if you didn't let people know how much this drops, or at least barricade it away so that it couldn't fall on people. But apart from health and safety issues, it is an actually really cool prop. I really, really like this guy, and if he came to the UK, I would snap him up like that.
Come one step closer, and
it's a really quick fall.
Then we have the Pumpkin Patch Papa. I'm not sure I like that name, but that's his name, and he's a cool looking pumpkin swampy creature. I like him. I like the pumpkin again. I like the green glow inside the pumpkin. The clothing, to me, I'm not sure I get. It's like a mixture of all the props we've so far seen. It's wearing a very plain, almost Wendigo-like outfit. It's got vines around it like the Wendigo. It's got a scarecrow's sort of ruff. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Is it a scarecrow? Is it something else? I'm not sure. But its main attraction, the main attraction of this prop, is it's a pop-up. So it pops up. It rests at about 6 feet, and then all of a sudden it's triggered, and it pops up to about 9. So I was expecting something quite impressive, but when I actually saw this thing triggered in the video, it kind of popped in a kind of very meh kind of a way. It wasn't very rapid, wasn't very fast. And I don't know, and then it kind of was lurched to one side after it had popped up. So I was kind of like a bit disappointed by its popping up action. Didn't think it was that great, to be quite honest with you. I like it as a prop. I like the aesthetics of it, but I'm still a bit unsure. Compared to the rest of the range, I wouldn't rate this one particularly. last prop is Leatherface. Now, Leatherface, we've seen 2 other Leatherfaces, one from Lowe's, one from Home Depot. But I have to say, even as a non-fan of horror genre in general, this is a good Leatherface. This looks like a good Leatherface. The detail on this Leatherface is excellent. I think it's the most Leatherfacing looking Leatherface prop we've seen this year. But I think the thing that sets it apart is its action. Whereas all of the other Leatherfaces have just had a very basic sort of movement and a very robotic movement, and they're moving the chainsaw about and maybe lifting it a little bit. This is the only one I've seen where it raises the chainsaw above its head, and that's a cool action. That's really, really cool, and it's screaming and it's making those classic Leatherface noises, but it's also got this really cool judder. It's like shaking, like it's angry, like it's got this shake to it, and then all of a sudden the chainsaw gets lifted above its head. It's really quite violent, is the only way to describe it, and that's what makes it cool. That's what makes it like Leatherface. So if you were gonna buy a realistic looking Leatherface prop for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre display perhaps, this would be the one, I think, that would get it for me. At $325 as well, it's a good price for this sort of a prop. But I still wouldn't personally buy it because I'm not into the horror genre. And that's where we're going to leave it. There are others to talk about. I think there was like a taxidermy head as well, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I wanted to just focus on the main range of animatronics that we saw in those original bits of static footage that we saw. And yeah, I think generally, with a few exceptions here and there, the range that Party City have brought out this year is amazing and incredibly affordable. There's only a few there that are exceptionally expensive, and I'd say most of them probably warrant that expense. I would say, I think $500 being the most expensive, that's as expensive as I'd ever be prepared to pay on any one prop. And yeah, I'd say the ones they've put that price tag on are pretty good ones, to be fair. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. If you could hit that subscribe button, it would be very much appreciated. And I will see you in the next one. Keep it spooky. Bye.